Bezrat Hashem, we're continuing. We're Perek Tet Pasuk Yud. Shlomo HaMelech says the following: Tehilat Chochma Yirat Hashem. Right, the beginning of Chochma or wisdom is to be fearing Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Ve'dat Kedoshim Bina, and the knowledge, the da'at of the holy, is the Bina. Right. So first of all, we know what Chochma is, and we know what Bina is. Yes. We know what that is. So here we have the Chokhmah, we have the Binah, and we have the Da'at in this pasuk. Now the inyan is what starts, what begins by what. So he says, Tehilat Chokhmah Yirat Hashem, meaning the Atchala of Chokhmah, the beginning of Chokhmah. If you want to develop Chokhmah, you have to start with Yirah. Now we know that Chazal say, Imen Yirah and Chokhmah. If there's no Yirah, there's no Chokhmah. V'imen Chokhmah and Yirah. And if there's no Chokhmah, there's no Yirah, right? So if there's no Yirah, there's no Chokhmah. And if there's no Chokhmah, there's no Yirah. So, and here Shlomo HaMelech comes to tell us what? That the Yirah is the Tchilah, the beginning of the Chokhmah. So if Shlomo HaMelech tells us that, then how can Chachamim say otherwise? Right? And we know that Lechaura, it's a big question. What comes first? Do you need Yirah to have Chokhmah, or do you need Chokhmah to have Yirah? And if they both coexist, so how do you start? The Gaon brings that She'ela of Chachamim, right? That Chazal ask, what do you start with first? Chokhmah or Yirah? So, yeah, I just remember something. Let me see if it's correct or not. Yeah. Yeah, we addressed that subject also, if you recall, Perek Bet, Pasuk He. As tavin yirat Hashem v'da'at Elokim timtza. Which is exactly the opposite of what we see right now. Here we say Tehilat Chokhmah Yirat Hashem, and the Gaon there in Perek Bet Pasuk He says exactly the opposite. That as tavin yirat Hashem v'da'at Elokim timtza. The pasuk says like this. It's important because it will give us some depth. The beginning of Perek Bet. Beni im tikach amara u'mitzvotai titzpon itach, להקשיב לחוכמה אוזנך, תטה ליבך לתבונה, כי אם לבינה תקרא לתבונה תבין יראת השם, ודעת אלוקים תמצא, כי השם ייתן חוכמה מפיו דעת ותבונה. So first, you need the Chokhmah, להקשיב לחוכמה אוזנך, in order to תבין יראת השם ודעת אלוקים תמצא. And here we see the other way around. Okay, so basically Chachamim, yes, find two ways to address the subject. One is to say that you need the Yirah in order to get the Chokhmah, and another is to say that you need Chokhmah to get to Yirah. And he explains the following. He says it depends how you use it. Do you use it for strategy, for the mahashava, or do you use it for actions? So when it's mahshava, when it's in a thought process, so you need always to have the tachlit. The tachlit is, it says the Gaon, the tachlit is it comes through yirah. Through the application of your yirah, the more you have yirat Hashem, yirat romemut, and the clearer your purpose is. So when you come to bring a strategy or you plan something, right, you must start with the end goal. What's the purpose? What's the purpose of what I'm about to do? And the purpose, the definition of the purpose is through the Yirat Hashem. Why? Because if you have the Chokhmah and it's not targeted and guided, then the Chokhmah can take you in many different places. You can use Chokhmah for many different reasons. So first you need to pinpoint your direction, right? The purpose, and that purpose is determined and defined by your Yirat Hashem, because you cannot reveal a clear purpose if it's not through the fear of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because it's only once you fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His awesomeness that you have clarity of what your purpose should be, and only then can you apply the Chokhmah, which is how to implement, okay, a plan to get to that purpose. So first, Imen Yirah and Chokhmah. That's b'machashava. Again, when you're planning something, you need a purpose, a tachlit. Yes. And that tachlit can only be determined clearly through Yirat Hashem. If not, you understand, Stani?
No, I'm reading the Gaon inside to follow the chain as you're talking.
So yes, once you have Yirat Hashem, once you have the Yirat Hashem, you can determine the purpose, a clear purpose, a purpose that is devoted to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and then you can implement it with the Chokhmah. This is why when you plan things, you need to have Yirat Shamayim before you use your Chokhmah. And that's what it means, Imen Yirah and Chokhmah. Now, when it comes to application of the plan, of the strategy,
and there's the theory and then there's the application.
Yes. Then the Chokhmah comes first. And that's what Chachamim says, Imen Chokhmah and Yirah. Why? Because when it comes to the action, if you don't, now you have a plan, yes? But if when you're coming to do something to apply it, you need to use your Chokhmah to make sure that what you've put in theory is implemented in action, right? Your actions are done by Chokhmah. And it's through the action that you do that now you can see your project come to fruition. And at the end, whether or not it is at your liking, it's irrelevant because there is Yirat HaRomemut. You still have Yirat Hashem. So you know that your Ishtadlut has been done. It has been done by Chokhmah. but its outcome still is in the hands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's why you need Yirat Hashem. So im en chokhmah en yira.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yes,
Circular reference.
yes.
Keep.
Yes, Brian. Ask.
Can you say that the yira is essentially is more important, or
No.
comes first?
It depends for what.
It seems
the
like for
action.
anything. It
In
seems
the
like for
action.
anything, you can't act without it. You can't act.
That's nachon. So that's why that's what Shlomo HaMelech says. When it comes to the chokhmah and Mishlei, that talks about chokhmah, tehilat chokhmah yirat Hashem. Yes, yes. But when it comes to the implementation and the action, then it's the other way around.
Right, but I couldn't have developed my chokhmah.
Yes, you can.
Without it, or I can for the wrong reasons. You're saying
you can develop your chokhmah without, but when you start using your chokhmah to plan something, then at that point you need the yirah first. That doesn't mean that if you don't, again, you can develop your chokhmah on its own. Chokhmah is chokhmah. Now, when you come to use the chokhmah, you need the yirah. You need the yirah first.
Got it.
Because the yirah is your compass guiding you to use your chokhmah in the right direction for the right reason.
Moral compass. Morals, or
moral, and also stuff also on how to use the chokhmah itself. It's more than just moral; it's also technical. Then the Gaon brings a yesod in the Zohar, which we're going to go back to Bli Neder at the end. It's a beautiful concept, but I want to touch it at the end after, because then there's a Gemara that he brings afterwards. We'll touch that Gemara and then we'll go back. The Gemara in Maseret Ketubot says that you had Amoraim that there was a machloket on during the Sheva Brachot. Sheva Brachot, do you make 6 bracha plus Kiddush, or you make 5 bracha plus the Kiddush? Or do you make 6 or 7? What's the machloket? The machloket is, do you make the bracha, okay? Yotzer Adam, according to Rashi, לפחות. Something else, it doesn't matter. But according to Rashi, the question is, do you make the bracha of Yotzer Adam, or what's the machloket? The machloket is, do you make the bracha based on Hashem's machshava thought before he created the world, or you make a bracha only on something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has actually created? Okay? Do you praise Hashem for his thought, or do you praise Hashem for his creation? If you say Yotzer HaAdam, he made man, okay? That means Yatzar et HaAdam alone. That, yes or no? We know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created man, okay? Zachar u'nkava bara otam. Yes, as one body, like Siemens, yeah. two faces, two heads, two faces, men and woman, men and female. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu separated the two of them. But in his mahshava, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to create men and women separate. But when he created men and women, he created men and women in one body. And after that, he separated them. So the Gaon asks, when you see these differences, right, between what Hashem wants and what actually happens, does it mean that HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed his mind? Did he realize that it wasn't good? So says the Gaon, no, chas v'shalom. It's just different steps in the process of the creation. And he explains. He says, Lema'aseh, the machshava is the final outcome. And the final outcome is that men and women should be separated. Yes? So in the machshava, what is important? The tachlit, right? And the tachlit is the yira, and that is what predominance is. That's what you start with. That's what's important. And at that point, what do we want? We want a man and a woman that are separated. So if that's the case, why does it changes in the creation and he makes them one? So he explains the following. He says, because for them to be able to coexist and for the woman to understand the man's need without the man having to speak, and for the woman to sense her husband, yes, his weaknesses, his needs, in the most profound way, she needs to be one with him first. It's only once she was one with Adam that she can now, once they are separate, be ezer kenegdo, actually help. So says the Gaon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made, yes, it's true that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted men and women to be separate. Yes, but also he wants the woman to be ezer, to help her husband. Now, if there was never a connection between the husband and the wife, between the man and the woman, yes. So it's impossible for the woman to actually help her husband, because she really can never relate to the true essence and the profound needs of her husband. Yes, Andy.
But you are talking physically, because when we get married, the two neshamot, they get into one again.
That's almost true. It depends. What do you mean? What do you mean they become one again?
No, didn't we study that? I think in Shira Shirim, that once we get married, it's like two parts of the same neshama. But
yes, that's correct. So, so I understand. So okay. So yes, and then what?
So physically, we're created as one, and spiritually one, and then we get two bodies, and when we get married, we get one again. So
that's
it goes
spiritually.
back.
That's spiritually, yes. Maybe. Yes, but what about everything else? How does
it's a mix.
The fact that first of all, that's only if you're talking about Zivug Rishon, right? According to Zivug Sheni, that's not the case. According to the Ari HaKadosh, that today there's only Zivug Sheni, then for sure it's not the case.
What's Zivug Rishon versus Sheni?
Zivug Rishon is your true essence, your true neshama, right? That are connected. Zivug Sheni is neshama that are compatible, not specifically your other half of the neshama.
So we don't have the first one today.
Not it's not so sure that we have it. No. Okay. We hope that we do, but yes.
What do you mean it's not so sure we have it? We don't know that the person that we're with is essentially Zivug Rishon, or it's impossible to reach that?
No, it's not that it's impossible, But today, that level already is gone. Those tikkunim were already done. The Ari HaKadosh explains in the beginning of Masechet Sotah. Sotah de Rav Hida brings the Ari HaKadosh. Okay, if you want to look at it in Masechet Sotah Daf Bet, yes, the Rav Hida brings the Ari HaKadosh to explain Zivug Rishon and Zivug Sheni, and the difference between the two. Yes, that Zivug Sheni is a talud b'ma'asim. It depends on your actions. So your Zivug fluctuates based on your actions. Okay, versus Zivug Rishon, which is the other half of your soul.
Wow, so as your actions change, your compatibility with someone else changes.
Before you get married.
Yeah, that's what I mean. While you're single.
Yes, while you're single. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
They don't teach that enough.
Yeah, it's already complicated as well. If you want to teach that, then nobody's getting married. so that's so again going back to so Akadosh Baruch Hu, in order for the woman to understand the needs of the man, Akadosh Baruch Hu had to make man and Adam and Chava one body. So now they are one essence, and when he separated them, which was the tachlit, the purpose, right, the end of the goal. Now there is within the woman a sense, an extra sense, okay, that was infused within her when she was one with Adam Arishon, that gives her the ability to sense her husband, which is really amazing, because when a couple is in tune, right, the wife really understands her husband, right, and the wife understands the husband better than the husband understands the wife. We understand intellectually. They have a sense. They have a sixth sense where they pick up on things, right? Even if we try not to share it. So that is right. That's one of the simanim, the simanim of Zivug Rishon.
That being in sync comes through what exactly?
Well, that's Shalom Bayit classes. That's different. Right now, that's the concept. We're in Tehilat Chochma Yirat Hashem, right? It's a very. If we go there, we're not going to go back to Shir.
Rabbi, question. If we go back to the Yotzer Adam, where you mentioned that praising Hashem through his thoughts was Yirat Hashem, and the creation was.
Yeah, that's the Gemara. That's the Gemara in Ketubot. Yes.
Yeah, and creation was Chochmah.
The what?
The creation.
What creation? Yes. No. What do you mean? Yeah. No. Machshava. I don't understand what you say. Chochmah. There's Chochmah and Yira in both. What do you mean? You have Yira and Chochmah in both, in the Machshava and in the Maaseh.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The question is, what comes first?
Mm-hmm.
So in the Machshava, in the thought, in the idea, right? You should first start with the Tachlit, which is the purpose, which is the Yira. That's what molds your purpose, so the Yira, and then how to implement it with Chokhmah. When you actually do you do the action, you first use your Chokhmah to make sure that what you've had in plan you're doing properly, right? And then comes the Yirat Hashem in order to embrace and understand, right? That the outcome is like from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no matter what. Meaning, if you're successful in the outcome, then you might say, it's because I'm Chacham. So the outcome came from me. You need Yirat Hashem. And if the outcome is not as you wish, right? Then you also have to have Yirat Hashem, that it's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You understand? Because if not, you can plunge.
Okay. So both scenarios is you're putting in the chokhmah and the yirat shamayim.
Correct. The question
Okay.
is what comes first. So in the Gemara, back to the Gemara that the Gaon brings, it says Batehila, right? Batehila, in the beginning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Allah b'machshava livrot shnayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to create Adam and Chava as two. Ul basof lo bara ela echad, but at the end he only created one. Right? So in the machshava batehila, in the machshava, there is one plan, and in the action there's another plan. Nachon? Yes. I know it's a little bit confusing, but no. Are we clear? Are we clear? Good. So, Dan, yes, you have a question?
Yeah, why couldn't, I mean, we said that the reason that Hashem ended up making them together was so that she can be an Ezer Kenegdo and understand him, right?
Yeah.
In the deepest sense. Why
Yeah.
couldn't Hashem continue with his plan, have them separated, and then she just understands him? Why do you-
How?
Just like does a creation, he can create her to understand her.
So you want to create you want to create me and you have me and I have you. Okay. Why? Why is the yes, that's one of that's the famous question, and why not? That's the answer to the why.
What did Brian call it? Circular reference.
Yeah, so something. No, why? No, because the best way to there's a lot of answers to the way, but the best way, right, to understand each other, okay, is if we're mamash one, right? That's just the mitziut, right? The mitziut. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in order to give the Chava what she needed in order to help Adam HaRishon, might say she used it against him, okay, which is she's not the only one. Yet at the end, she was given a koach. She was given the koach to be there to serve. By the way, I think that Rav Hida, the Rav Hida in Masechet Sota. I don't have it here. I don't have it down. Anyways, the Rav Hida writes something phenomenal. He says that the wife of a zivug rishon knows how to use, okay, the her potential, that core that she gets, right, to elevate the purpose of her husband, okay, and no matter what the challenges are, they always see the tachlit. Where in the zivug sheni, right, it's a little bit more complicated, to say the least.
She sees it or they see it together?
She sees it. He sees it through her behavior. Yeah. So in the zivug rishon, it's her influencing him through that koach. In the zivug sheni, it's her behavior. It's her behavior, okay, that becomes a point of reference to him to understand how to be, what she's trying to say, and she might not even know herself what she's trying to say. So, is it a koach that is done with full control, zivug rishon, or is it an instinct in zivug sheni of the wife that reacts certain ways that now the husband has to pick up and understand? So again, we see again based on that yesod, the Gaon explains, yes, that in the beginning Hakadosh Baruch Hu had a purpose, yes, and that's Ezer Kenegdo, that's the Tachlit. And if it's going to be Ezer Kenegdo, they have to be separated. But when it comes to the implementation of the Machshava, right? The Chokhmah came before the Yirah. And how did the Chokhmah come before the Yirah? HaKadosh Baruch Hu understood that in order for the two to be really one, the Chokhmah, he made them as one body and then separated them, right? And the separation is the Yirah, is the Tachlit. So we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself implements and applies that formula to create Adam and Chava. Are we good? Yes? Okay. Now, here is the Gaon throws a little bit of not a curveball, like a cute sentence that needs a little bit of attention. He says, "Ubema'aseh," when it comes to the action, imen chokhmah and yirah. If there's no chokhmah, there's no yirah. And he says, "Veyud batechila betchilata, veyud besofa." You need yud in the beginning and a yud at the end. He's referring to the Zohar Kadosh, to the beautiful Zohar Kadosh. That's Resh Samech Zayin Amud Bet. That's what we think. And the Zohar explains the following. He says that the Yud represents the Chokhmah in the Yud Kevavke. Yes, we have the Yud Kevavke. We know very well the Yud represents Chokhmah. And the Yud has a koch on it, right? Where he has a little spitz on it, on top of the Yud, which represents the Keter, as we know. And if you take away the Kutso Shel Yud, the koch of the Yud, the spitz of the Yud is no longer a Yud that is complete, okay, according to for the Torah. So you cannot write the Yud without the koch. And the koch does not exist without the Yud, because there's no spitz without the actual letter. So says the Zohar Kadosh, we know that the koch is the Keter, and we know that the Yud is the Chokhmah. He says, this is the definition of true Ahava, true harmony, true unity. Is what? Is when each one understands that he cannot exist without the other. The Keter, right, is not a Keter if he cannot give birth to the Chokhmah, give place to Chokhmah. And the Chokhmah is not Chokhmah if it's not connected to the Keter. Yes? This is the perfect harmony and bond between the Chokhmah, between the Keter and the Chokhmah, and the Chokhmah and the Keter. And this is called Ahava. This is called Ahava. The world of Atzilut is called also the world of Ahava. To come and tell us that this is, and we know that the world of Atzilut is the world of the Shemot of Yudin, right? Yud Kevav Ke Yudin, Yud Vav Dalet He Yud Vav Yud Vav He Yud, right? Is the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that rules over the Olam Atzilut, the world of Atzilut, right? Why? to come and tell us the koach of the Yud, right? The power of the Yud is the ability to fuse and become dependent on the Keter, and revealing that the Keter is dependent on the Chokhmah, on the Yud, right? So the Kotz cannot exist without the Yud, and the Yud cannot exist without the Kotz. Yes? This is the concept, right? Yud Batehila ve Yud Basof. We see that when you have Yud Ke Vav Ke, right? And you have Amonai, right? Yud Ke Vav Ke is the potential. Amonai, Aleph Dalet Nud Yud is the Malchut, is what received the potential, right? So when, yes, we've spoken about it many times. When you merge the two, that's when you have the Yehud of the Olamot. Yes? The vessel and the bracha coming down. So Yud Batehila and Yud Basof, look at this. When do you have a perfect harmony and a full cycle? When you start with the Yud of Yud Ke Vav Ke, and you finish with the Yud of Amonai, Adnut. By the way, if you open a Sidur Ashkenaz, sorry, I think I mentioned it also a few times, you will see that they refer to Hashem as Yud Yud. Yes? It's the first Yud is the Yud of Yud Ke Vav Ke, and the second Yud is the Yud of Amonai, Adnut. We'll just, okay. So Yud Betehila ve Yud Basof, to come and tell you that there has to be in Batehila. What does it mean Batehila? B'machshava, right? Like the Gemara says, Batehila ala b'machshava livrot shnayim. Batehila, it means b'machshava, right? Which is the first Yud. A fusion, a perfect harmony between what? Between the Yir'ah and the Chokhmah. And Yud Basof, the Yud Basof is Sof Ma'ashava Tehila, Sof Ma'aseh, Sof Ma'aseh, right? Sof is referring to the action. Like we say, Sof Ma'aseh B'Mahashava Tehila. So the Sof representing the Ma'aseh, the action. That there also you have a Yud. To come and tell you that the Chokhmah and the Yirah must be one also. Meaning, if it's true that you have two different kochot or steps, Yirah and Chokhmah in Machshava, and Chokhmah and Yirah in Ma'aseh. Yes? But do not mistaken to think that because one is dominant and the one is recessive, or the first one is predominant and the second one is secondary, yes, that they can exist without the other. You cannot plan, okay, if you have Yirat Shamayim without Chokhmah, and you cannot act. Doesn't matter how much Chokhmah you have if you don't have Yirat Hashem. If you want to be in the perfect acts, okay, and in harmony with your purpose, you must make sure to use at all times the Chokhmah and the Yirat Hashem. And this is what Chachamim say. Imen Yirah and Chokhmah, v'imen Chokhmah and Yirah. Im Ayin, there cannot be an existence without the two. And that is the sod of the Yud. The Yud cannot exist without the Keter, and the Keter cannot exist without the Chokhmah, and this is the Echala Ahava. This is the perfect harmony that is revealed to us. So this is the sod of the Yud. Yes, perfect love and fusion and harmony between the two, the two sirot, Keter and Chokhmah. Yes. Yes or maybe? Okay. V'da'at kedoshim bina. He says the da'at kedoshim bina. The da'at kedoshim is the beginning of the bina. Like Chachamim continue and says, Imen da'at and bina, ve'imen bina and da'at. Now we have to understand what does it mean kedoshim. Why does Shlomo HaMelech uses the terminology kedoshim? So there is in the Zohar a concept that's called v'kiddashta et alvim, to be mekadesh, to sanctify, to elevate the levim, right? To exclude the levim from the rest of Am Yisrael and make them one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So in the Tikkunei Zohar, he explains there, what does that mean to be Kadosh? To be Kadosh is applying a status that is defined in order to serve a purpose. Yes?
No, sorry. Can you explain?
No, no.
I don't know.
That sounds exactly like the relationship between Yira and Chukmah.
That's exactly what I want. Repeat, what did I just say, Brian?
You said to be kadosh is applying the application of a status defined in order to serve a purpose. That doesn't make sense to me, but I understand.
I'll explain. Okay. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
No, vas-y. No, I want you. Say it. Say what don't you do?
You need to have a tachlit.
Yes, for sure. But now we're in the dot. We're talking about what? A status. Yes.
Status of what?
A status. A Levi. Okay, that's now he's serving. Shevet Levi that is serving a Kadosh Baruch Hu. A status. It's a status. Nachon?
Okay.
Of a Kadosh. Okay? That serves a purpose that has been defined. Now, it's applying essentially, the Chokhmah and the Binah to something.
Avodat Hashem. In order to be kadosh.
Kadosh is a status again.
It has nothing to do with being holy specifically.
No. Kadosh doesn't mean holy. Well, Kiddushin, when you're marrying your wife, yeah, not every kala under the chuppah she's kedosha. Yeah. No, don't kadosh. Right. So kadosh is a status. How does the Torah call a harlot? Kedesha. It's a status. Yes. So kadosh is the application, is the status that has, yes, that is applied based on to serve a purpose. And that's what Da'at is about. Da'at is taking the Chokhmah and the Binah and applying it. Nachon? Now, says Shlomo HaMelech, Ve'da'at Kedoshim, the Da'at of the Kedoshim, the Da'at, yes, that is applied by the Kedoshim, essentially comes from where? From the Binah. And where did the Binah receive it? From the Chokhmah. So says Shlomo HaMelech, Tehilat Chokhmah, Yirat Hashem. You have to first have Yirat Hashem, which is the Tachlit, in order to then use your Chokhmah and put a plan in action, right? To get to your purpose, to where you want, to your end goal. Ve'da'at kedoshim bina. You see, you see how he reverses the order. He could have said, "Ken, yirat Hashem tehilat hachokhmah, ve'habina mevi lidei da'at kedoshim." That's basically what he's saying. Yes, he just uses a poetic way of saying it.
It's poetic. It's the same thing said in poetic way.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, but we understand the formula is clear. I think no, the formula no.
The formula is clear. It's actually very beautiful.
Yeah. So למעשה comme Shlomo HaMelech, and tells us how to במחשבה, right? How to get to the da'at kedoshim, how to become kadosh, how to have a status in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And why do we need that? Because it's through the koach of the kedoshim, of this kadosh, says the Zohar in Parashat Vayitchanan that we brought earlier. Okay, that the tzaddikim, right, at that level have the ability, because they hold in the Hechal Ahava, in the highest level in Gan Eden, right? So they are the closest to the Shekhinah, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore they have the ability to push down chasadim. This is the secret of Kivrot HaTzadikim. Yeah, because we tap into that darga, to that level. You're with me, Stani? To that level of the tzaddik, which resides in the 7th level of the Gan Eden, which is called the Hechal Ahava, the Hechal of love. And why is that called the Hechal of love? It's because this is where the sod of the Yud and the Keter belongs, perfect Ahava. And when there is perfect Ahava, right, each one cares only, the Keter cares about the Yud, and the Yud cares about the Keter, right? So there is a tremendous abundance of chesed that is transferred between the Keter and the Yud and the Yud and the Keter, and the tzaddik, the kadosh, being there serving, his purpose, right, has the ability to bring that down on the bria, to bring it down on the creation, and shower chasadim. So says Shlomo HaMelech, Tehilat Chokhmah Yirat Hashem. if you have Yirat Hashem and you have your purpose clear, and you have clarity about what you about your actions, then you can implement your chokhmah. And when you implement your chokhmah that way, yes, now you set the tone for the binah to give birth to what is called the da'at kedoshim, the da'at for the kadosh.
If the chokhmah and bina are not well used, you will not get that. You get an
Correct.
action that's not that.
Correct, absolutely.
It's something else.
Nachon.
But if you get a shower of hasadim, as we learned, the equilibrium could be broken.
Ah, very nice. That's only true. That's only true if you didn't start with Yirat Hashem. But because you start with Yirat Hashem, which is to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? So even when you bring down the Chasadim, you bring them down for the purpose of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not for you. When do you create an instability and you mess up the system? When it's all about you. And when is it only about you or about something else but HaKadosh Baruch Hu? When there's no Techilat Chochmah Yirat Hashem. But when you have Yirat Hashem first, when you have clarity about the direction, then yes, you can bring the Shefa.
Yeah, when I was thinking about me. It breaks my equilibrium.
That's right.
Rabbi, is the goal to have Dat Kedoshim? Meaning, if you implement the Chokhmah and you implement the Yirat Shamayim, then you eventually have Dat Kedoshim. Is that the goal?
In this pasuk, yes. This essentially that's what we want. We want to be able to get there. Ken? Tov. I think that concept was it wasn't such a deep concept, but it's a little bit confusing because of Yira and Ahava, but it's not so.
So triggers Ahava.
What?
The Ira finally triggers the Ahava.
Yes.
Where are you pulling Ahava from?
That's the sod of the Yud.
Yeah.
Right? That's the Da'at Kedoshim.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So Beruchim to you.
Amen.
Dan, you're good.
Welcome back.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's a lot. It's like you said. There's a lot there. It's a beautiful concept. So we saw. What was Michael? What was the pasuk that when you spoke about the Levim? I have that. I wanted to fill that in my notes. When you spoke about
it's in Bamidbar.
Use the word kadosh. Okay, that's what I needed. V'kidash Talvim.
טוב, בשורות טובות בהצלחה בעזרת השם.
Thank you.